learn how to make a fascinator with Maco. So if you don't have money to buy a mold, you can always improvise from materials around, like I always say. So today we are going to make a fascinator with Maco. This is what is called Maco, which is used by shoe makers or bag made for making shoe. So this is Maco for bag making and shoe making. So it can also be used for fascinator. You need your measuring tape. This is a fabric which we are going to work with. You need to simply use Maco, but today we are working on Maco. So first of all, what you have to do is to get a sizable round shaped object. Here with me I have my plate, which I'm going to use to get the size of the fascinator I'm going to make. So with this, I place it on my Maco to get the shape of the circle. First of all, I mark it. So I'm going to mark it with my marker to get the shape of the plate. So now I've marked it. As you can see, here is the mark of the circle of the plate. So I get my scissors to cut it right out. Make sure you follow the line and make your cutting to be neat. Please, for your sake, don't use your normal scissors which you use for cutting of fabric. You can go for this particular bag maker's scissors, which is majorly for cutting of Maco or carry board. So this is the scissors for it. So that is what I'm using to cut the Maco. Not that you cannot use your normal scissors, but it will always make it to go blunt. So to avoid your scissors of cutting your fabric to go blunt, you can get it. But if you can't get it, there is no problem. You can always use that. So we are cutting out the circle shape of our plate. Good. So we put the other one aside. So here is our Maco circle in circle shape ready. Can you see that? So here is the Maco ready in circle shape. Now the next thing we are going to do is to get the radius of this Maco. So here we have the we have here 11. So automatically the center will be what? 5.5. So here is the point. Here also we measure 5 and what? Half. Here is the point. So here is our circle center. Now with our ruler, you get your ruler and measure it down. That place you marked 11, you measure it cross so that you get the radius very well. The radius of your circle. Now having got the radius of the circle, from one side of it, you are going to take from this line. Let me use marker so that we see what I'm marking. So here is what I marked, as in you give you what is a cross. So here is the middle of our circle, and this is the radius. Now at this center here, let me use it. We are going to measure with our tape 1.5, 1.5 to give us 3. Or rather, you can take it 1 and 1 to give us 2. Then you rule it to join to this point, like this. So I'm taking 1 inch off from the center there, 1 inch here, and 1 inch other side. So you see that. So with my ruler, I'm going to take it from here to this center point. From here to this center point. So you see that. So we are going to, you see what I mean? So this is 1 inch. From here to here is 1 inch. From here to this radius is 1 inch. So when you measure from here to this point, it gives us 2. So the deeper, the wider you give your measurement, the higher the center point of your fascinator is going to be. So I don't want my own to point up too much. So I'm taking it 1 inch. If you don't want it to be too obvious in pointing up, you can take it half inch, and that is that. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut off the 1 inch. Okay. So here is it off. So you have it. So this is how we are going to sew it. When we sew it, this is what we're going to have. It's going to be like this. To give us that curve I will always need. Okay? So this is what we're going to have by the time we are done. So with your... So this one is too flat. I want to cut it more to give me more curve that I want. So with scissors, with our needle, we are going to join sew from here to this point, which will give us the curve we want. So So I want to minus 1 more inch to help me get the real curve I want. So what I'm going to have now is 3 inch apart from the radius. So I've minus 1 more inch. So what I minus now from this place to this place is 1.5, from here to here, 1.5, instead of 1 inch I did before, so that I'll have a very deep or minor medium deep curve at the top. Okay, so always do it that way to get the right result. 1.5 from the both sides. So I'm stitching it, doing a running stitch, or not running stitch, I don't know what they call it, home economics. Now, you can see me stitching it. If you have fishing line, you can equally use fishing line for your stitching. As you're watching, don't forget to like and share my channel, subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when my other videos are uploaded. So like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Okay. You can see my curve coming up now. So when you are stitching, make sure you stretch it very well to be tight. You can see my fascinator coming up. I'm done stitching the first one, as you can see it very well. So I'm going to do another stitch across it, the way we normally do our shoe lace, to get it more firm and stable. So that's what I'm going to do now. Double cross stitch. You can decide to leave your own that way, but I love making my stitch this way to make sure that it is well secured. Okay? You can see it, the way I'm crossing it. So that is to make it more firm. Can we see that? I see it. So there won't be any fear of it getting loose for any reason with the way I'm stitching it. It's a Maco shaped fascinator base ready. Can you see how beautiful it is? See the stitching? I'm done stitching it right in out. You can see the zigzag stitch, crossed stitch, so it's very firm for use now. So we are going to the next procedure, which is to cover it with lining. We are going to cover lining with it. So we need a lining and glue to do that. So let's go straight to that. So satellite dish fascinator cap base is ready, which is Maco. I'm done stitching it as we know. Now the next thing we are going into is to put lining, cover the inside with lining. So we are working with this material, doll face material, to cover the inside. And after the lining, we are putting the wire to strengthen the hem of the fascinator. So we have already known how to get this. You measure the circumference of the fascinator, measure out it on the wire, and then join it with 1/2 inch or 1 inch with paper tape, which I've already done. So now the next thing we are going to do now is to apply glue. So we are using a stick glue for this work. So what we do is to apply glue right in here, and then cover it with this, then allow it to dry. After which we now fix our wire on it, then stitch. So let's get started. I'm applying the glue inside of the fascinator, as you can see. I'm almost done applying the glue. So make sure I apply it to cover every surface of the inner part of the fascinator. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, Otogo Empire channel. Always subscribe, like and share my channel. Our fabric, here it is, I've already measured it out, and then cover it this way. Can we see that? Cover it, making sure it is well covered, and then press it down. Press it down very, very well. As you can see, it's well covered. So the inside of our fascinator is set, very set. Yeah. So the next thing we are going to do is to trim off the excess material, which we don't need. Trim off the excess. Trim off the excess, which we don't need at all. So the inner part of our fascinator is set. Now the next thing we are doing is we are going to fix the wire inside. You can see that wire is already measured. The circumference of our fascinator is 30.5, and the wire I measured 31.5, and I used 1 inch to join it here firmly with our paper tape, which we have already done in my last video. Now we are going to tack this fascinator at the hem like this, using our needle and thread. So we use our needle and thread. I've already threaded it and not it very well. Then you start from make sure the wire gets to the tail end of the fascinator's edge. Then you start your stitches this way. Start stitching this way. If you want, you can as well glue it before stitching. You can glue this wire before stitching. But I'm working like that. Okay? Hope you're seeing what I'm doing. So that is the kind of stitch you'll be running over and the wire and the fascinator. Hope you're seeing what I'm making. And each stitch, you make sure you stretch it to be firm. can see, I'm done stitching the wire round the fascinator. So here is it, and our fascinator base is firm and ready for the next step. So I'm going to secure my stitchings here before I cut off my thread. You should secure it very well. So you cut off your thread and needle. Now the next thing we are going to do, we are going to cover the upper part of the fascinator with foam. This is what we have. Foam. You can get this size of foam from those selling furniture materials. This is from the lightest part of a form of foam is what I'm using to give it a soft texture on the surface of the fascinator. So the first thing we are going to do is to get our glue again, our elastic glue, apply it at the surface of the fascinator this way. This foam is optional. If you like, you can put the foam. If you don't like, you can go ahead to work with your fabric on your fascinator. But why I'm putting foam is foam helps it to look chubby and soft at hand and not too hard. So if you feel like working without the foam, you are good to go, you are free to do that. More especially if you are working with a thick fabric. If you are working with a thick fabric, you don't need to bother yourself about the foam. But why I'm putting it because I'm working with a sample lace material. So I want it to have a bit weight at hand with the Maco. So I'm done applying glue at the surface of our material, fascinator. So now we take the foam and cover it this way, making sure you cover it to come out smooth, making sure that there is no surplus anywhere, as you can see that. Alright, it's done. You can see that. So now you turn to the other side and trim off the excess. Trim off the excess material of the foam. Here we are. So our fascinator is well covered with our foam. So the next thing we have to do is to cover it up with a lining. So our material we are working is black background, so we are covering it with a black lining like this. As you can see. So we also are going to apply glue to hold our lining firm to the fascinator. So we take our glue again, more especially at the end tail of it. Apply your lining, your glue at the end tail of it. Okay, like this. So when you are done applying round the hem, you also turn to the inside and apply it at this place here. You have your wire, the end tail of it as well, to help hold the lining firm. Alright, so that is done. That is done. So we turn it back this way and then get our lining. And then cover it this way. So I'm going to trim around the excess fabric before I fold in, because the remaining one you're going to have about ½ inch to fold inward. Alright, so that is how we are going to do it, this way. Alright, that will help to cover our wire very well. So let me finish with the trimming. Okay, so here we go. So you stretch and fold inward. You stretch and fold inward this way to avoid excess at the top part of the material. Fold and stretch and fold inward. So you can see that. Stretch, fold inwards. So you see our fascinator well covered. So that is it. Alright, our fascinator is covered very well now. Sit. So the next thing we are going to do is to trim the inside again. So we have to trim the inside to remove the excess fabric. So I'm done trimming. So the next thing we are going to do, we are still going to apply glue here to cover this paper. This time around I'll be using my other type of glue, E7000 glue, to make the words come out neat. So it's set here, set. So I'm trying to cover up the places that the glue did not hold very well with this E7000. Yeah, the glue did not touch very well, so I'm covering it with this. So we are done. Next thing is to get our fabric, our lace fabric. So the fabric came in pieces, so I've done the joining to get the size of what I want. So I want to test run it. If it did not go round, I'll have to do some adjustment. So this is how we are going to cover it. Beautiful, right? So this is how we are going to cover it with our fabric. Now the next thing we are going to do is to apply the same E7000 glue rounds here and use it to cover with our fabric. So we go this way. Alright, so we are done applying glue around the surface of our fascinator. So the next thing we need to do is to turn it up, cover up with our fabric this way. Can you see that? So we've covered our fabric with this, so you need a peg, small pegs like this, to hold it when you are covering it, so that the end of any part you have fixed will not pull off. So I turn it this way and start from one end, peg it, hold it from the other end and peg as well. So with this, I'll be able to control the fabric. See, our fascinator is coming out. It's coming out. So when you are doing, if it is a stretchy material or not, you have to stretch it to make sure that the thing is well secured and firm on your fascinator base, so that you don't have surplus anywhere. So that is why I'm using peg also to hold it firm down. So I'm going to allow it to dry a bit. Once it is totally dry, so we do the next thing. So you can see our fascinator. You can see how beautiful it is in and out. Okay, so now while we're done with that, the next thing is to cut off the excess fabric. Remember to give a ½ inch gap when you are trimming. So this is it. Trimming off the excess fabric from the fascinator. Here too, the not catch glue, so I want to add glue to cover it well. So I continue the trimming. So here is our fascinator, in and out. So the next thing we are looking at is the embellishment. How we are going to embellish. It's just a little touch of embellishment because of the colorful nature of the fabric, so we don't need much on it. Cover with bias, but before the covering of with bias, we are going to tack. We are going to do tacking. We are going to tack the fabric. And to do tacking, the normal tacking we know, to make sure that the fabric is firm before we cover with bias. Okay. Tack it. Come out with from almost the point where you need to come out. Go back through it again. So that's how we are going to run it. Sorry, I'm going off camera. So I'm going to finish this tacking off camera. I'm done stitching round the fascinator edges, so you can see how firm our fascinator is. So the next thing is to cover with our bias like this. So apply glue like this and then cover it like we all know. So I'm going to apply glue at the back of our bias. So we take it like this to cover the rough edges of our fascinator to make our work come out in it. See, so we are making progress. So as you're doing that, you have to be careful not to allow your glue to soil your work and making your work come out dirty. So that is what I'm trying to avoid. So now cut off the excess. Here it stopped. Apply glue more to finish up. So here we go, our fascinator is set in and out neat. Okay? So I'm trying to make sure that the bias relaxes very well. So we are done. So that is it. So we are looking at now, the next thing is fixing of our Alice band on the side. So get our Alice. So now, this is where I want our fascinator headband to be. I've used all glue to fix it at the point where I want it to be. So the next thing is to tack it. Don't forget to tack your headband because this glue can easily wear out and the band will close. So once I glue it, I'll always make sure I tack it. So I use the matching color and pass it back from where I brought it out from. You don't cross it from up, except if you have a plan of covering that side with something else. The crossing comes from inside. I cross over that part of the Alice band. Okay? I go back from where I come from the point, and go back inwards. Just like you tacked the hem of the fascinator, same way you're going to tack your band. Okay, see so that your needle won't be visible. Okay? We cross over this side again. Cross over. Then come out from the same place. Alright, go in. Cross over. So you can see that. Take it inward again from that same point. Almost the same point where you need the camera from. Okay, so walk it. Okay? Take it across to the other side. Take it in from almost the same point. Take it out from the same point so my stitches went off. Okay. Alright, cross this side as well. Take it from just now. So there is nothing that will make this band pull out from this fascinator until you are done or tired of making use of it. So the way it is. Okay. So now, the next thing is to secure our stitch. And cut off the excess. So our Alice band is set. So here is our embellishing material ready. So this is how we are going to fix it. We're going to tack it like this by tacking. Okay? So that's how it's going to be on the top of our fascinator. So we get our needle and thread again. Okay. So the station is where you want it to be. how we want it to be. That's how we want our fascinator embellishing stuff to be. So I take it in from inside, take it up again. So we tack it this way. So once you're done tacking, we're using our hot glue to fix our flower like this, and our fascinator will be done. So here is our fascinator set and ready to be rocked. So you can see how beautiful it is. Our fascinator made with Maco. See it. So let's give it a try on our manic dummy head. See? How beautiful it is on the head of our mannequin. Very beautiful. So give it a try. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe to my channel, Patogo Empire channel. God bless you as you do that. Thank you and see you in our next video. Bye.